It's Yasmin Tanras here with Long Beach Local News, and we're here at the Miller Children's and Women's at the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, where we're going to be talking to Dr. Solomon and find out all about the Small Babies program, as well as the new extremely low birth weight program that they have happening here. So let's go and find out.
Premature babies are any babies born less than 37 weeks, but we know there's a population that is born extremely early, so anything about 22 to 27 weeks. And so we have a program that we've developed here to really care for those particular patients because they do have pretty specific and unique needs.
How many small babies are born on average here at the hospital, and how do you have to care for them then?
Yeah, so we have quite a large delivery service here at our hospital, about 5,000 to 6,000 deliveries total a year. And a good 100 or so are considered extremely premature. And so we get quite a lot of those babies. And we've developed a program here that's based on the latest evidence to take care of those babies. So, we have an understanding that what we've learned here at our center, as well as other places around the world, that the outcomes of very small babies is highly dependent on where you deliver them and the team that takes care of them, even from the very first minute of life. So everything matters, every move matters for these babies.
What's the latest research that you found in terms of having to look after these babies?
We here at Miller Children's, as well as many other units, have been taking care of small preterm infants for quite some time. But what we've realized in science that things change, and the latest tells us that in a high volume center like ours, if you have a dedicated team that has practices based on the latest evidence, that the outcomes of those patients is far better. And so we have a very team-based approach here at our hospital, and we have guidelines that drive our care, like I said, based on the latest science. And we also have the babies also cared for in a particular area of our NICU that's developmentally appropriate for their needs.
Ooh, okay, mentally appropriate for babies. What does that mean exactly? Let's dive into some of this evidence-based research that you're kind of touching upon there.
Yeah, I think the science quickly develops, but we understand that these babies are supposed to be in the uterus until they're full term. So their needs when they come out, when their brain isn't fully developed, it's being hardwired right now in an environment that is different than that uterus. And so we try our best to understand that by how much light and sound that we deliver to those babies. The touch that we put on the babies has to be very therapeutic. It can't feel different or much different than the uterus, which is a muscle that moves slowly. And so and even the sounds that we use, we have a very library voice in that unit. It's not very loud. The alarms are set to a lower setting. So we know that the environment that we put them in is going to be trying to replicate a little bit of that hardwiring that they would get in the uterus.
Sounds certainly very extraordinary. So talking about families, how do you work with families and the small infants that are born?
Yeah, so, the expectation if a baby is born at 23 weeks is they're going to be in the hospital for about 4 months, almost until the time they're supposed to be born. And so this takes a toll on our families. And we have a whole team here that understands that. And because we care for these babies in a unique area of our unit, a lot of the families walk this journey together. So there's friendship groups that happen, support groups that happen. We have psychologists, we have social workers, and our whole team really knows that these parents are sort of deprived of a lot of the firsts. So if you think about many families that celebrate the first time a baby feeds or first time they take a bath and those sort of things, our families, because the babies are born so early, feel like they're deprived of that. So we try to celebrate those things with them. It's really special. Going through a tough time like an NICU hospitalization can be tough on our families, so our team pays attention to that.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Solomon. Great work. Thank you. There's an extensive research and a dedicated team that will look after the small babies at the Small Babies program, as well as the extremely low birth weight program. So you'll be rest assured as a family to be well looked after here. I'm Yasmin Tanras with Long Beach Local News. Head on over to longbeachlocalnews.com for more local news.